Okay, so I was in the lobby of one of those big mega churches, right? Big lobby, lots of room, lots to heat, lots to air condition, cookies, free coffee. And I was just sitting there casually on a Sunday, of course, because that's when the scheduled routines take place, typically amongst the organization. Out of all the many organizations, what, 99% of them have 99.5 have a Sunday something. They sure do, don't they? Then there's the Saturday types plus the Wednesday night types, and all that together where you can go a lot and really be a good person, according to whatever one of that 49,000 groups that you happen to be attending. Well, you got to start there, no question. God has everybody start there. By goodness, the word would never get around the world, would it? If it wasn't for the business of religion. All things work together for good for those whom God chooses to give the understanding, to understand God's love, to love God, and works together for God's good. It's a longer version than all things work together for good for those who think or believe they love God according to the business of religion that they attend on Sundays. So I'm sitting in one of these, and there's a woman sitting beside me. Sunday, yeah, right, we've got that covered. And I just start, it starts coming out of my mouth as you're experiencing now, as it often does, since that is where I spend my time, my life, submitting every thought. How? Well, by doing nothing but thinking. No business, no job, none of that. Well, you shall be hated of all men. How far do you take that? How about just resented by all men? How about just not understood by everybody, by all men? Like, did Jesus Christ have any friends really? Well, they didn't understand yet until he died, and the Spirit came in them for them to understand that which is spiritual, from what I read. So we're talking, sitting in one of these cushy chairs, probably each with a coffee, a free coffee of our choice, with 4 or 5 different choices, including decaf, with a few different, well, you know how it goes. A lot of choices for free. Come, we'll love you as you are. Yeah, okay. Well, I always understood it that God loves us from what we are to what God would have us be or become. God's way. So anyway, I'm speaking with her, and she says, you know what? You could teach here. They would let you teach here. And I said, no way. It's impossible. So then what I went on to do was share with her why. I'm not just going to say that and let that go. Heck, we were in the middle of a conversation. We were communicating, relating. So I'm sure I gave her a quick view and understanding of what God's given me about this thing, hell, and/or about this double, triple mint commercial. Three gods in one. Yeah, no, on the Trinity or on hell. Either one. And then after that, she said, well, you're right. They would not let you teach here. No, they would not. Just checking my time here. This is early on for me, I'm just learning this. I'd like to keep these, I don't know, wish I could get some feedback. Well, everybody wants something different. Some people got an hour and a half, 5 minutes, 1 minute, I don't know. I'll just go till I'm done. So she said, no, you're right. They would like whatever you said, if I haven't already shared. Kicked you out with 3 feet and then pulled you out by the ear and pinched you and beat you on the way. You shall be hated by all men. That's not a joke. It's not a joke. If we do become the lights in this world, guess what we're shining on? You tell me. You've read it. Who is the God of this world? Huh? Is that a joke? Or is that for real? And if so, what's that mean? That the world turns on love and God's truth, God's loving truth turns the world? Or is it evil? Like we do read in Ecclesiastes, which a lot of young to old or anybody kind of minister in one of those organized buildings where they have what they call church, where people come and they call the building church, and they have it any one of the 49,061 of them, which was the recent count I saw called official in a Google search. Prior to that, I'd seen like 33,000, 36,000. But the official count, 49,061 that are in the business of religion. Hey, all things work together for good. For those whom God gives the ability to understand what it is to love God by what God's love is, so that we can love God after God loves us first, right? Well, that's, again, the longer version. Might have to replay that. I don't know. But we can't write it like that. God has to give the understanding. By golly, people will even end up saving themselves. You've heard of that, right? You've heard of everybody who's saved, so-called saved, with an ED on it, like it's not a lifetime process. I was saved at 5 years old. 9, 10, 11, 15, 19, 22 and a half. Oh, so when Paul said, I finished the race, he was just saying that because after he was saved, the rest was just continuing to be saved? I don't know. It's a lifelong process from what I read and understand, what God's given me. And even then, when are we born again? Well, I'll tell you one thing's for sure. Who's going to question the fact that if we come up alive again in a new body, a spiritual body, if that isn't born again and see him as he is, right? Christ was risen from the dead. His Father rose him from the dead, right? And now a spiritual body, and we see him as he is. When we are reborn like Christ was reborn, now that's reborn. In the saved business, well, I understand Paul said he finished the race and he endured to the end, and that's what it takes. I mean, you look back on your life at the very end and you can see whether or not you've endured and you finished the race, whether or not you've stuck with it and grown and matured. Let me know. Think about it. Okay. Love you. All right, I'm going to let this go now. All right. Another one soon.